Enable.
Change is the next leg of transformation. It is definitive, relentless, and requires a holistic and human-centric approach. A reimagined approach to transformation has become a fundamental step in orchestrating expansion and development in any organization. Transformation Realized, powered by EY, is a brand new chapter where we bring to you inspiring stories of business transformation that have put the customer and innovation at the core. The fourth episode of this series takes us through the transformation of a multinational alcohol beverage company that was established in 1993 and today stands strong in India with a bragging rights of 130 plus brands.
Businesses of today can stand the test of time only by adapting to change. Leaders are leveraging the emerging trends of savvy consumers, evolving go-to-market channels, and the power of technology to achieve scale and long-term growth. This week on the 6-part series of Transformation Realized, powered by EY, we bring to you the story of Pernod Ricard India, a multinational alcohol beverage company which has undertaken a wide-scale digital transformation along with EY for a unique vision for its India market and created long-term value for its stakeholders. Please welcome Simon de Beauregard, the Chief Technology Officer and member of the Management Committee at Pernod Ricard, and Anupam Bhatnagar, the partner at EY for data analytics. Anupam and Simon, both of you, thank you very much for being with us here. Simon, I'll start with you. How has the vision for Pernod evolved over these few years? And with the changing times, with the changing situation, how that's been evolving, how have you been able to keep things updated and in line with the requirements of the market and environment?
At Pernod Ricard, we have that vision. We have our North Star, which is very much about creators of conviviality. And we have a mission that derives from that vision, which is to unlock the magic of human connections by bringing good times from a good place. And we keep referring to that, all right? On top of it, you can add our ambition. And our ambition is about leading and shaping the growth of the industry. So then, how do we bring good times? We have to be consumer-centric. We have to rely and understand and listen to the consumer, which is what we do. And as you know, consumers are changing very fast, globally and in India as well. If you look at India, just to quote a few facts and stats, every year, because of the population and the demographic growth, you have 20 plus millions new potential consumers reaching the legal drinking age.
So your addressable market is expanding.
Is expanding, exactly. The second piece is it's expanding even further because the income is growing as well because of economical growth. And lastly, I would say that qualitatively it's changing pretty fast because consumers are expanding their repertoire. What once used to be a whiskey-only market is going into gins and vodkas and wines and ready to drink. So consumers are changing rapidly. So how do we address it? We have our strategy composed by 4 essentials, what we call essentials, and 4 accelerators. So to go quickly on the essentials, it's about operational excellence, and we'll see later, maybe we'll talk about it later. It's about sustainability and responsibility. It's about talent development. And finally, about route to consumers, route to market, how we reach those consumers. And then the 4 accelerators, which are key, very key for our business. So you have, of course, our portfolio, right? How we have one of the most comprehensive portfolio in the industry. You have innovation, what we are missing, whether product-wise, experiences-wise, or services-wise, we can create and bring to the consumers. You have the whole prestige and luxurious piece, right? If you go back to the demographic changes and that growth, we see an increasing number of HNIs, ultra net worth individual, high net worth individuals. And we can meet them with exceptional products that we have. So Chivas, Royal Salute, Champagnes, and Martell, right? We have those brands. And finally, digital acceleration, which is key, more key by the day, and we will talk about it, I'm sure, later on.
Like you said, so I'll pick up from there. Digital acceleration has been key, right? And you've undertaken this massive transformation exercise along with Ernst & Young. Take us through the process and how that worked and what triggered you to go along that journey.
Yeah, it's a great question because Pernod Ricard globally and especially in India has been doing pretty well, right? We've enjoyed the healthy growth, I would say, over the past few years. Last year was 26% net revenue growth, so it's fantastic. But if you listen to a management guru, Jack Welch, ex-CEO of GE, you need to change before you have to, right? So we need to
Be one step ahead.
Be one step ahead. Keep transforming ourselves. Be humble and keep learning. And as such, again, as a group, as Pernod Ricard Global and applying to India, we are pushing it with our digital acceleration. Back to our conviviality sort of purpose and vision, we want to build a conviviality platform, which is essentially taking our portfolio and our capabilities and competitive advantage that we have and combining them with data, with technology, with digital. And that way we are not only able to propose outstanding products, but we are able to propose them, offer them to the right person, at the right place, the right time, the right price, and be super duper relevant.
All right, Anupam, so we heard from Simon what digital transformation exercises the company has been taking, and we'll talk more about that. But as someone who's been in the alcohol beverage industry, working alongside some players, what do you make of Pernod's strategy to maintain its pole position in the market in India?
So what we've seen is all industries are unique, but alcohol beverage industry in India is very unique. If you look at the way they operate out here, it's extremely volatile, have an impact on anything happening, or internal or external market condition.
Yeah.
It has to comply with a lot of regulations for the India market, which is very specific, and those also change state by state.
Correct.
And then you typically have organization operating in different states, and the route to market itself is also very different.
Yeah.
And that is also something which is not very static. It'll keep on changing depending upon the government and the policy out there, and the organization has to be ready for these changes. And the whole supply chain get disrupted, and redesign has to be done according to that particular piece. And to sum it up, I think the bigger part is more about the manufacturing and distribution in this particular industry is very expensive. It is the core cost goes on that particular side.
Production and manufacturing.
The production and manufacturing as well as the whole distribution piece. Yeah. So what we realize is, as part of this particular industry, you need to really prepare well to predict your customer demand. If you're able to do that right, you will be able to fulfill it. You'll be in a position to fulfill the demand more accurately. And that's the core thing on the operational excellence that we're trying to work back with Pernod on. The whole story that we're realizing right now is around the digital piece, because that is where you'll be able to create operational excellence. And you need to also look at how this digital can be enabled as part of your day-to-day operations. And that's where we have been working back with Pernod on a regular basis and building this particular large transformation business case.
Well, I'm sure the industry has a lot to take away from this entire exercise that you've undertaken. But we have to take a very short break, gentlemen. So Simon and Anupam, stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. We're in conversation with Pernod Ricard in this special episode of Transformation Realized, powered by EY. Simon, we were talking about the operational excellence you want to achieve with this transformation journey that you've undertaken. But, a transformation of this magnitude, it requires, one, a lot of investment, and two, a lot of patience, because you don't really see results overnight. Take us through how the whole process really worked for you.
The goal was to make sure that we were fulfilling customers and consumers with the right products, while maintaining an inventory level that was sufficient, which is very tricky these days. So the methodology we took was first to qualify the need. Right? You need to first define the need before jumping to the solution. And as such, we took a multi-pronged approach, looked into KPIs, looked into data, processes. We did the whole thing to define the needs. Once we did that, we defined what the processes were today and what processes we wanted to be tomorrow, right? And defined that very clearly. Exactly, one step ahead again. And then we went to the solution. So we looked into a tool and we looked into a partner, EY, to help us implement and make the change happen. Why EY? EY because it has a very strong digital transformation capabilities, knows the business, so it was the natural partner for us. So EY came in and together we did go through the functions, did deep interviews, workshops, looked into the KPIs, looked into team by team what the change would be to then make it happen.
Well, let me hear it from the person then who helped you along this journey, Anupam. What would you say were the cornerstones of this transformation process?
So this has been a large transformation which was touching all across the organization, all functions of the organization. And if you look at the key cornerstone of this whole transformation has been more around the data, the people and the technology piece that we're looking at right now. and in the overall change, redefine the process to having a industry leading practice for the whole Pernod Ricard business. So we didn't because it was a very large transformation, we didn't do the big bang approach. We started with a mini project around the finance transformation, wherein the whole financial planning process was transformed, and the result that we generated out of that was really encouraging. We have got really good adoption, good efficacy of the process. It has led to a lot of saving at the Pernod Ricard side of more than 500 man days of planning processes, which has been phenomenal. And once we were able to complete the whole transformation on finance piece, we moved on to the supply chain operation planning, which was a bigger piece, which was generating a lot of, you can say, benefit for the organization at this point of time. And this was a big end-to-end transformation, starting from my demand planning till my logistics planning. So we worked across the organization, built that particular solution. And this whole process of having staggered approach of rolling out the solution and working back with all the relevant stakeholders has really helped us.
But Simon, what would you say are the industry first and most disruptive parts of these solutions that you work with along with EY in this journey?
Sure. So industry first, I cannot talk about others. Disruptive for sure, and in a few ways, 3 ways actually. The first one, and you mentioned it, is the cross-functional approach, from finance to operations, manufacturing, and so everybody was concerned, and there was a deep transformation, changing ways of working, which is the hardest thing to do. The second piece, which was very disruptive, was the fact that by allowing people to have access to an integrated tool and gather all the data points, people could focus more on analyzing and making, added value sort of changes than looking at the data and crunching it.
Yeah.
And third, you alluded to one KPI. We were tracking those KPIs. A few we can call out. The first one was the forecast accuracy, right? And how close are we to predict the future?
Yeah.
That improved by 25%, which is massive. A second one was our production plan adherence, right? And how we produce exactly to meet the needs. Again, went up 30 points, which is, again, a beautiful
The accuracy with which you were able to predict the demand went
exactly,
up by 30%.
And produce accordingly for it, 100%, so these are pretty powerful stats. Clearly talking to the impact that we had, very tangible impact that's here to stay for the business.
I see. But, Anupam, again, what went into making this journey in the sense that there must have been challenges along the way, right? Achieving that kind of efficiency, being able to predict demand, bringing in digital transformation across verticals. Right. What did you face as the biggest challenges?
So I'll say as any large program, if you look at the first key challenge that we are facing was around the adoption of the whole program. It was such a large program. It was changing the way the people used to work. It was a whole change of the ways of working for the organization, ensuring that right amount of focus has been given to people to adopt this program was the biggest challenge that we have realized. And if I go beyond that, the top 3 or 4 challenges that we have faced during the program has been because we have been running this program across the organization, across the countries, across country with 28 different markets running right now. So understanding market exception was a very big challenge because every market wanted the process to be defined as per their requirement. So helping them define a process which is uniform for the organization was a big challenge that we realized.
Each state is a market, or are there markets within each state as well? In
certain cases, you'll find certain markets which are beyond state as well. So like the CSD market and all, so those markets need to be handled separately for Pernod Ricard and that's what I'm saying, it's a very, very unique market, unique industry from a alcohol point of view. So as I was telling you about the whole activity around market acceptance is something which is very important. Yeah. One more thing that we have realized was very important is about the whole precision planning versus practicality of the plan. So you can actually create a plan which is, let's say, 100% correct, but it might require 10x of more effort, 10x of more data, which is typically not possible. So having a practical, pragmatic design was something that we've got to
build in some flexibility to the plans, right?
Absolutely. And then the data was exactly the point that we always work back with Pernod to ensure that right amount of data is available for the purpose of planning. So those are the areas that we have realized are the typical challenges we have seen as part of this particular program. And if I just try and say how we have tried to help
overcome these, yeah.
So I think the first and the foremost activity that we have done is we have been able to engage with Pernod from day one, from all the right level. So we've got really good support from Pernod in this particular case. So whether it's a business analyst or the CXO level, we have got real-time window with these guys to help them progress on the plan part of it. We have also set the right expectation here because what we are doing out here is we are not creating something which will be a magic and create the numbers out of air. It's a right level of expectation that setting that was done with with the Pernod stakeholder, which was really helped us move ahead much faster. And one more thing, if I just try and say in this particular cases, the whole cross-functional integration that we have been able to do, because we are touching so many different functions within the organization, whether it is finance, whether it is demand, whether it is production, whether it is, and these are very independent functions in the organization. We have been able to, and that's where I think Pernod has been really helpful in bringing all these stakeholders under one platform. And the support that we've got to create a pragmatic design has been really helpful in designing and delivering something like this.
Well, we'd love to continue hearing about this journey, but we have to take another very short break. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment with the story of Pernod Ricard. Welcome back. We're in conversation with Pernod Ricard on their digital transformation journey. Simon, going through the process, it's a huge task. And now that you've achieved this transformation, which surely took a lot of time and effort, the bigger challenge is how do you sustain and find the synergies from here on? What are you doing on that end?
So it's a very good question, because once we've implemented the solution, it's actually not the end, but the start of the project in a way.
Yeah.
And how to make it sustainable is by bringing in people. Employees. So to do so, we spent a lot of time convincing, educating, explaining, right, to make sure that everybody was on board. And then we took 3 steps to ensure sustainability of the processes and the change. One was find those champions, right, those relays in the organization that can bring change with us. The second thing we did is put in place a governance system to make sure that we track, monitor, and enforce change whenever needed.
Yeah.
And the third piece was a sort of upskilling of the organization. So we trained more than 250 people. I think it's 1,500 hours of training, if you want the stats.
Per person?
Not per person.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's a lot of training.
That would be too much. But to basically make sure that the change applies and stays for the years to come. Because it's all about people.
So you invest in human capital to ensure that whatever change you brought about is sustained at the similar level.
Totally. Human capital is a nice one, which is one of our pillars again. Yes.
Yes, of course. So now that you've undertaken this mega exercise, what is the next focus area, if I may ask, for Pernod?
So there are a few to choose from. But indeed, we've talked about that solution, that part, which is very much 18 months to 24 months ahead and more financial, operational. We have ambitions as well, more longer term, in the sustainability space.
Yeah.
Remember, our mission is to bring good times from a good place, and that's very close to our hearts. If I can diverge a bit and go to history.
Yeah, sure.
Our founder, Paul Ricard, who created this company, was a pioneer in the sustainability movement. So back in the 1960s and 70s, where not everybody was doing so, he was there pushing for it. He even created an institute looking at marine animals and life and stuff. So that's in our DNA. And we are enforcing it globally as well as in India. So we have some wins already, things we are proud of. We are a water positive company in India. We are super proud of that, and we keep improving. 4 of our production units are certified platinum in the zero waste to landfill certification. Again, super proud of that. Then we have things that are more in progress. Of course, we keep improving. We need to do more work. We are looking into carbon neutrality for Scope 1 and Scope 2. We are looking into 100% renewable energies for electricity by 2025. So we have those things in plan. But one project that's very dear to our heart is the removal of the monocartons that go around the bottles, which we announced just in May 2022. And we talk about 500 millions of monocartons that we are removing from those landfills. So that these are projects that we think are going to paint the future.
And that's certainly nice to hear. And being green is at the heart of any sustainable company that hopes to continue growing. But Anupam, to wrap things up, the key takeaways from this transformation journey you've helped Pernod Ricard realize. What do you think are some of the key takeaways for the industry that you could impart, for our viewers who may be watching as well?
I think this whole journey has been phenomenal. The whole transformation has been excellent. I think we've been able to generate real value for the organization, and then whatever has been built is more like an industry leading thing, which is quite forward looking at this point of time. And not only in India, what we're realizing is even the work that we have been able to build along with Pernod is being appreciated across the globe. Even the global, you can say North America business of Pernod is also looking at a similar transformation journey. We're working back with them to enable something very similar on the similar lines. And if I look at the organization in the similar industry who would want to enable something like similar, which Pernod has already achieved, I suggest they should look at first thing foremost, which is digital as the core pillar of building the operational excellence. I understand that there are multiple things happening around. There are market-leading solutions right now available in the space of automation, digitization, in the space of finance analytics, as well as advanced analytics, which can be leveraged to generate real-time insight, which can help organization isolate any changes which is happening across in the external environment and generate real value for the real value for the stakeholders, right? One more thing what we realize is very important in an organization like this is building agility in the overall program. Because what you're building right now is not there for 6 months. It is going to be there for long. You need to ensure right amount of agility has been built in so that the organization are able to adopt these programs as per the requirement. And last but not the least, I'll say, you need to be brave. You should not look at what have been delivered somewhere else. Don't try and replicate something which have been tested or delivered somewhere else. Think about innovative solution. Think about solution which has not been created up till now, so that you can create real value for your organization.
So 3 takeaways, if I were to sum it up: digital and the power of data, remain agile, and don't replicate a model because the same thing cannot be applied to everyone.
Absolutely.
So on that note, Anupam, Simon, both of you, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts about how you went about undertaking this huge transformation journey. And I hope industry has a lot to learn from this exercise that you've undertaken. Pleasure speaking to both of you.
Thank you.
Likewise.
All right, so that was a peek into Pernod Ricard's India transformation story. It's a wrap from all of us here. Goodbye and thank you for watching.
Well, that's it then on this edition of Transformation Realized, powered by EY, a 6-part series where we will bring to you inspiring stories of business transformation. From all of us here on the team, goodbye and thanks for watching.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.